Hello and welcome to the MathematicsKicker. Today I'm going to discuss a domain and range. Most of people are getting confused when they deal with the domain and range, and which is very simple to deal with the domain and range. Then let's see how it's done. To deal with the domain and range, we must first define what is a function. A function is a relation involving domain and range. Right. And what is a domain? What is the domain? What do you understand by a domain? The domain, we are talking about the possible values of what? Of x. We said a function is a relation involving domain and range. Right. Then what is domain? The domain is the possible values of x. Right. All possible values of x. Right. It is domain. Right. The possible values of x. That is domain. Then what is the range? The range is all possible values of what? Of y. That is range. Then the domain is all possible values of x. Then the range is all possible values of y. I'm going to read a domain from a function. Then let's read a domain from a function. That's where most of people are getting confused. To read a domain and range from a function. Then let's make example whereby we read a domain from a function. Then now we are going to read a domain and range from a function. Right. Let's see if we are given something of this nature. If we are given a straight line function. If we are given a straight line function, something of this nature, we know this is the x-axis and the y-axis, right? Let's say we are given something of this nature. Where are the values of x in this function? We find them on the horizontal axis, on the x-axis. Where are the values of y, which is the range? We find them on the vertical axis, which is the y-axis. It means here, in this function, we have the x value here and the y value is 0, right? It means 0 is there on the function, right? 0 is there on the function. Then the x value are there. The x value are there. We have the x values there. We have the x values up to positive infinity. And this side we have the x values, this side we have the x values with x values with x values with x values with x values up to an infinity, right? Then what about the y values? We do have the y values. The y value here is 0. We do have the y values up to what? The positive y infinity. And this side, we do have the y values. We do have the y values. Here are the y values. Here are the y values. This graph will touch. We have the y values, right? In this case, it means in this case, we can conclude by saying x is the element of real number. And the y is the element of real number because the x values and the y values, they do feature in this graph, in this function, right? I mean to say a function. Then now, in this case, we can also have another straight line function. This one was increasing. Let's try the one with the negative gradient. We've spoken about the function. We introduce the function. You can check the videos on the functions, right? Whereby we're introducing the functions, right? Let's check the possible values of x here. The x value is negative. It means the x value is there on the function. The x values are there. Here are the x values on the x-axis. X values are there. We have the x values up to positive infinity and negative infinity. The y values are there up to negative y infinity. The y values are there. The y values are there up to positive y infinity. And also 0 is included. We can therefore conclude by saying x is the element of real number. These are the possible values of what? Of x. And then this is the domain, right? Domain and the range. The range we can conclude by saying y is the element of what? Of real number, right? That's how we write domain and range. And now let's deal with the quadratic function, right? The parabola, right? Let's deal with the quadratic function. Let's read a domain and range from a quadratic function. Let's say you have a function as like this one. Let's say you have something of this nature, right? Let's say you have something of this nature. And then we have the turning point, the TP. Let's say the TP value here is 4:3, right? We have the turning point there. Then now, here we have the x-axis and the y-axis. Then how do we read the domain here? The domain will focus on the possible values of x. If we check, we have x here. X are there, up to a positive x infinity. X is there in this function. X is there. X is there. These are the x-axis. From the x-axis, right? X is there. 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 Up to positive, negative x infinity, right? And now let's check the y value. But with the y value is different now. The y values, they start from here going down, right? Okay, let's first write our domain. The domain, it means it's going to be x is the element of what? Of real number. Because x is there everywhere. X is the element of real number. What about the range? The range, they start from this here. It means what is the y value here? The y value is 3 here. X and y. The y value is 3. It means they start from here at 3, going down. You see? They are going down. They are going down. They are going down. They are going down. It means, how do we write a range in this case? We say the range in this case, y is the element of what? Y is the element of what? They start from what? They start from negative infinity going up, right? They start from negative infinity going up. Because if you are going down, is negative infinity. Y is the element of what? Of negative infinity. Is to what? Is to 3 is included. They start from negative infinity, they stop at what? At 3 is included. Or someone can write it this way. Y, right? It is less than equaling to 3. Because it is less than equaling to 3. The 3 is included. The reason I'm writing the square brackets means the 3 is also included. It's a part of y, right? Then let's make another example on how to find domain and range in a quadratic function. Let's say we have something of this nature. That's how we read them. They are very simple to read this type of thing, the domain and range. Then now let's see with this function. Let's see, we have something of this nature. This side we have the TP, the turning point. That's our turning point here. So much it's 3 is 2 minus 5, right? Which means to be x and y. Then what is the domain? What is the domain? The domain, the x are there. X are there. You have x here, x here, x are there. X are featured in this function. X are there, x are there, x are there, x are there, up to from the negative infinity to the positive x infinity, right? It means the domain in this case is going to be, the domain in this case is going to be the domain. The domain in this case is going to be x is the element of real number, right? That is the domain. What about the range? The range will focus on the y value. The y value, they are here, right? They start from here. You have the y values, y values, y values, y values, y values, y values, up to positive y infinity, because we're focusing on the y-axis, right? Then in this case, the y values are there in this function. Then now, they start from where? They start from -5. Here's a -5. This is the point, -5. It's also included up to what? Positive infinity. We say the range is what? Y is the element of what? Of, they start from where? They start from the smaller one is -5. It's also included up to what? Up to positive infinity. Just write infinity, right? Or you can write it this way, or someone can write it this way. Y is what? This one is going to be greater than, right? Y is not going to be less, it's going to be greater than, equaling to what? -5. If you're going up, it's greater than -5. Those y values are this side, right? That is how we write the domain and range. I'll see you in the next video, whereby we'll be discussing a domain and range in a hyperbola and in an exponential function. That's how we read the domain and range. It's very much simple. Go through it. Please like and comment and subscribe to our channel. You can share our videos with your friends and classmates. Don't be selfish. You can also join our WhatsApp group session for free extra classes for mathematics. The link is provided in the comment section. The Kellergauss once said, it is not knowledge, but the act of learning, not position, but the act of getting there, which grants the greatest enjoyment. I say peace. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.